Hey everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk with Chad. This is episode 3 of my 3-part series on creating your own podcast. And in this final episode, I'm going to be telling you how to upload your podcast to iTunes. Now, in the previous episodes, I showed you how to create your podcast and how to host it for free. And now, we're going to be uploading to iTunes. So the first thing you're going to need to do is get to this page on iTunes. Now, this isn't really accessible via iTunes itself. There is a link you need to click on that'll open up iTunes, and I will include that link in the video description. You just click on that, and if you have iTunes installed, it'll pop right up. So don't worry about that. Then, you have to get the RSS feed from your podcast. Now, depending on the host you use, it will be a little bit different, so I can't give exact instructions. But somewhere on your site, there should be a RSS link for your podcast feed. And once this is basically an XML page, and it has all the information about your podcast. So whenever you post a new episode, all that information, the file and everything, goes into that RSS feed. Once you find that RSS feed, just go here and go to podcast feed URL and type that feed in. The next step is basically entering some information about your podcast and yourself. And once that's all done, they'll send you an email, and I'll actually go, and I will open up my email right here. Okay, and basically this is in my email inbox right here. And if you go down to here, they will send you this email. iTunes Store podcast created successfully. Dear podcast owner, your podcast feed, blah, 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 was successfully added and is now under review. This is an example of a podcast feed. As you can see, it ends in XML, .xml. If it doesn't end in .xml, it probably isn't an RSS feed. Then, if I go back to my inbox, they sent me the notification on the 13th of September. And then 3 days later, on the 16th, I got this email: podcast approved. Dear podcast, I'll just play the image. Dear podcast owner, your podcast located at blah has been approved. You should expect to see it in iTunes within the next few hours. When it's available, you'll be able to access it with the URL below, and they'll give you this URL where it'll actually send you to the iTunes, the Apple website. And as you can see, there's my podcast right here, my 2 episodes, the price, and you can view in iTunes. And then you can click here, view in iTunes, which will open up iTunes. Actually, it'll say you need to have iTunes, even though I already have it. But if you go back to the email, and then it'll say it'll be searchable within the iTunes Store in approximately 1 to 2 days. Blah, 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 blah. After adding a new episode, update your feed in the fastest possible manner with a ping service by visiting this URL. See the technical, yeah. So that's about it. So it'll take like 3 days. For me, it took 3 days for them to review my podcast and approve it. And then another couple of days after that for it to be searchable and actually viewable on iTunes. So the whole process will take about a week at the latest. And I really hope this helped you guys. So please rate and subscribe, comment on this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for sure, because I do upload more videos. I upload tons of videos. I have hundreds of videos, and I think more of them might be helpful to you. And I upload new videos all the time, so stay tuned to that. You can also check out my podcast at gamersloungecast.co.cc. And you can check out my main blog at chadt4.wordpress.com. That's all for this episode, and have a great day.